They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle sat in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the brutal show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through it. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Backstage.
Yeah, nigga. Fake ass nigga.
You ain't no Israelite, but you a gospelite, bitch.
Fuck you talking about?
If that nigga won't walk, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga name is Slayer. What you think? Boy, you be done to try. Soft cold shit, we bout it. UPK, you solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right mind the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. A hood. More than you, bitch. Sharp on shit, I'm about it. UPK soup salad. Fuck nigga don't want war. It ain't enough clips in your army. All the bitches wanna take my piece. All they hoes wanna take my piece. All the nigga wanna take my piece. No, I can't let a dog take it from me. I can't let a dog take it from me. You a hoe study and you dummy. And these bitches really out this bitch walk around like they don't know nothing. And a lame nigga fall for them and get set up for the coins and get gunned down, man down. Should've took the time, get a damn no. But I see the sorrow and I show her. She could never get a priest hold. You a dirt ass, rust ass neck bitch with a fake ass jury. In Tennessee while I'm touring. It's a Tennessee, but she luring. And a sucker duck bitch ass boy, fuck nigga over that bit muggin'. I say, if that nigga on wall, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga named the Slayer. What you think, boy, you be done to try. South Coast shit, we bout it. UPK, you solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. You a lame nigga down to me. Eat candy, but I'm sucker free. You a little nigga, ain't nothing to me. Base up, boy, I fit a beat. Yeah, AR-223. Draco with a magazine. Yeah, the clip run like limousine. I shoot your ass in the spleen. Boy, I bust your ass in the temple. We debating by the temple. Tell the truth, boy, you's a victim. And you squirm off like a lizard. Nigga walk down my road. Why does nigga come down my road? Boy, come down my road. Boy, I charge your ass toll fee. I'm a real big priest, nigga. UBK play for keys, nigga. Command to get a damn order, but ain't nothing me to damn kill you. I stuck in his ass like a cat. All weapons, boys full of tech. Boy, like a close combat. Nigga got popped off for a neck. If that nigga on wall, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga named the Slayer. What you think, boy, you be done to try. South Coast shit, we bout it. UPK, you solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch.
Christ said 7 women gonna be on one nigga in the end time. Nigga, fuck wrong with you, boy. Stress by that damn hoe ass bitch. Fake ass nigga too. Dumb ass motherfucker. Fuck you.
All right, 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Nadia, you can hear me?
Come on, so I can hear you.
All right, most high call you. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. All right, go ahead and clap it up. We about to begin. We got a heavy topic tonight, of course. The Wednesday law class. We out here rocking it out in Eastern Carolina. Hold on 1 second. All right, Shalom Yahba Shem Yahba Shah Barakatah to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Allah Thabah Shem Yahba Shah to all the sisters. The water for tuning in. Everybody go ahead and get your questions ready. Type your questions in the chat. Of course, if you on the stage, you understand you can just say Salaki and come with your questions. But of course, like I said before, this is the Wednesday law class. This is the class that Christians hate. This is the class that your Christian pastor, your Christian church does not want to hear. 1 second. Salagi for that. Right? So this is the class that your Christian pastor does not want to teach or does not want to listen to, because this is the class that crushes the very fabric of the Christian church. You understand? The Christian church teaches against God and teaches against Christ. You understand? And we're going to break it down today. We're going to break down the topic of, does the Christian church follow after the Bible or do they follow after Christianity? You understand? So we're going to get into it. Nadia, if you could, give me Matthew 5 and verse 17. We're going to start there.
Come on, concert.
Just grab it for me. And do you got a camera or la'a? Or are you just going to be on the sound? Can you hear me?
So like I said, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Is there a delay or something?
Well, concert. I had exited to pull up the Bible app, but I'm in the school now, so should be too wild.
All right, no sweat. You good? Yeah, just give me Matthew 5:17. Also, questions. I'll take the questions now. Questions could be on topic, it could be off topic, whatever question you have as it pertains to the Bible or the Israelite school of UPK itself, or any question, any concern that you just may have. Of course, like I said, and I restate that this class is the law class, and this is the class that your Christian pastor hates. You understand? He hates this class. Why? Why does the Christian church hate this class? Right? Anybody want to take a shot before I break it down?
Slug you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go cut this thing off right quick. I'll be right back.
No sweat. And sis, you can also answer too. Sis is in the backstage. The water for the sis showing up. You understand? Getting in class. All of you sisters who's listening and watching, you understand? You need to get into this class. Shalom, Lord Christ. Sis from Lumberton. Kima, Most High in Christ. If anyone have a question, type the question in the chat. Right? Once I get started, we're gonna roll. But even after I start, if you have a question or a comment, just type it in. Right. Let me grab the scripture for the brother until he get back. And we're gonna start there. All right, so this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17. Right? This is what Christians don't want to read. You understand? They claim to love Christ, they claim to love Jesus, they claim to love the Lord, but they absolutely hate Christ. You understand? And that's just the truth. Nadia, you back with me?
Come on, sir.
Did you have any questions?
Live, sir. I don't have one at the moment.
All right. No sweat. All right, give me Matthew 5 and 17.
Slug, sir. Am I upside down on your end?
You look a little yeah, you sideways, Zach.
Okay. Well, I gotta sit. Okay, that might work. Go on. Okay.
There you go. All right, so just give me Matthew 5 and 17. We'll start there.
Come on, come.
Mm-hmm.
Just drop my phone. What in the world?
You trying to get it to stand up, right?
Come on, sir.
If you have too many problems, if it makes it easier for you to just be without the camera and just holding the phone, you can do that as well.
Come on, sir. Yeah, that'll work also. All
right, go ahead. You can do it that way.
Come on, sir. I'll try to set it up in a second. Okay.
Right. Just go ahead and read it when you got it. You good.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17.
Actually, start at verse 14.
Come on, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Ye are the light of the world.
Ye are the light of the world, right? First of all, who is this talking to? You remember, context is everything, and we have to get out of believing in Christian dogma. You have to get out of it. You have to stop believing that because you're black, because you're Hispanic, and because you're Native Indian, that the God that you choose to serve has to include everybody. You have to stop thinking like a slave, because what book do the Buddhist monks read from? And if you find out that book, do you believe that Buddha was speaking to everybody? No. What book was the Muslims read? The Quran. Do you believe that Allah was speaking to everybody? No. He was speaking to his people. But only when it comes to Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, we believe that the book of our God has to be speaking to everybody. That's not the case. This book is written to a specific group of people, and the context would show you that, right? So go ahead. What you was about to say, Nadia?
I was going to finish reading the scripture, Salaki.
Mm-hmm. But I want to answer. What does that mean? Ye are the light of the world.
Salaki, sir. That we are the ones that bring the good things into the world. We're
like what?
Well, culture.
we bring flavor basically. We are the ones that make things look good.
True. And who is the we? Like, who is this talking to?
Salakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right. Otherwise known as Israelites, right? This is talking to. This is who Christ is speaking to. Right? Ye are the light of the world. Right? That light reference means what? That we're shining. We're doing something in this world that shines in darkness. Because without that ye, without us, right, which he just said were the Israelites, then this world will be left in total darkness. Right? How do you know? How do you know that this world will be left in total darkness?
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
These other nations, they tend to be, as wicked as they can be, so they decide to steal, rob, and pillage everything they've set their eyes on.
And in short, you just want to say what?
They're not God's chosen people.
You was on it.
Come on.
Right? You was on it, but you lost me with that one, right? How do you know? Hold on 1 second, right? How do you know that without us being in charge, that this world would be in total darkness?
Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do the lust of their flesh.
Just think plainly, right? Remember, you want to be able to cut a Christian. And to cut a Christian, you have to take real life and make it spiritual, because they don't believe in the spirit of the Lord. They don't believe in Christ. You know what they do believe in, though? Christians believe in sending 25 cents a day to feed Africans. Christians believe in sending money to help the Haitians that are at the border. They believe in collecting canned goods and giving charity to feed babies who don't have food, to feed men and women who are starving to death. They do believe in trying to help and trying to do certain goods. Why?
Salakia, sir.
Uh-huh.
Because they want to be seen as a good person.
Well, maybe that last question messed you up. It probably took you off. I may ask it wrong. But this is a better question. Why do Christians have to feed Africans?
Salakia, I want to say that so they can basically show that they are for everyone. So they can.
I mean, that's correct. All that's true. Everything. I'm not saying that what you're saying is a lie. But remember on this topic, right? Remember the scriptures say that ye are the light of the world. And we're that light because when what we do, how we lead this world, it lights up darkness. But I almost gave it to you. I'm gonna just give it to you. You know that we're the light of the world because the world is living in darkness right now. That's how you know, right? Take me to Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. You know that we are the light. We are supposed to be in charge because right now, who's in charge? America is in charge. You understand? The oppressor is in charge. China is in charge. Russia is in charge. But yet there are Christians in every church sending money to Africans because they're starving to death. They're dying from malnutrition. They're holding food drives and canned good drives and clothing drives because people are unemployed. People are dying from drug addiction. They're dying from unemployment, starvation, oppressive crimes, right? Crimes that are committed because a people is oppressed so much that they're poor. And we are living in this darkness, yet America's in charge, right? Read what you got.
Khan. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. You understand? Who is the people that this is talking about?
Slide, yes, sir. The other nations.
Everybody. The people of the earth. This ain't talking about just the Israelites. It's not talking about just the Hamites. It's not talking about just the Moabites. This is talking about people, human beings that are on the earth. They would rejoice when the righteous is in rulership. Who else would rejoice? The birds. The birds would rejoice, wouldn't they? What about the fish in the ocean? How many fishes and animal creatures that live in the ocean have lost their life because of oil spills, because of debris in the ocean, because of plastic in the water? You understand? Millions. The whole habitation of the ocean is damn near inhabitable close to anywhere that America rests its foot at. They can't. If I was them, I would just go down to Antarctica and try to live in the cold. Now they are. Right. Because being close to America or being close to our oppressor is almost a death sentence. Right? The fish have to be oppressed just like black men in America. The same thing. Like the birds in the sky, they have to live with toxins that are flooding the air. You understand? The ozone layer is screaming for help. How many of y'all ever grew up in school when they was teaching about how the ozone layer was breaking and it was making Antarctica melt? I wonder why the ozone layer is breaking. I wonder why we're having global warming. I wonder why we're always in a state of emergency. All of these pandemics that are happening every single year. I wonder why. If the righteous were in rulership, the people would rejoice. Right? And I miss, how could I forget the buffalo? Come on now. The buffalo damn near went extinct if it didn't go extinct completely. Because of the hands of our oppressor. If the buffalo could speak, they would tell you who the devil is. Right. If the trees could speak, they would tell you who the devil is. If the fish in the ocean could talk, they would tell you who the devil is. You understand? Keep going.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. What does that mean?
It's like it, sir.
Mm-hmm.
When there's bad rulership, they tend to oppress the people.
When there's bad rulership, they tend to oppress the people?
Come on, sir.
You got worded a little bit better.
Come on. With slackers. Right.
Come on.
When wicked people rule over the earth, they punish others so they can gain control.
I wouldn't use the word punish.
Right?
To punish someone can seem deserving. Right? You can punish your children because they did something wrong.
Right?
What did the Native Indians do to deserve getting slaughtered? Massively slaughtered by Americans.
Nothing, sir. Selective.
That wasn't a punishment. That was genocide.
Sir.
That was bona fide murder that the white man committed against the Native American Indians. That he commits against the Mexicans. That he commits against you and I to this day. That is murder. And it is not justifiable. Give me Job. Hold what you got there. Give me Job 9:24. All right. Just so you know who this is talking about. Just so you understand that this ain't talking about Satan or a demon or I know some Christians believe that Satan is in control of the world.
Sir, they do.
Yeah, that's stupid.
This is the book of Job.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 9, verse 24.
Uh-huh.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right? Who runs the earth? The oppressor. There's the so-called white man, right? What Juan said is correct, right? But he is in control of the earth. How do you know? The way he pushes his legislation, the way his politics rule, the way his culture rules. There was a time when you would go to China and Japan and they would be in them temples wearing them shogun outfits and all of that good stuff. You understand? They would have the samurai hats and the open-toe sandals and them whatever garments that they would wear. And eventually the oppressor came and conquered that area and influence and push their influence on Japan. Now, when you go to Japan, what do they wear?
Like it, sir.
Come on.
Tuxedos and suits.
Tuxedos, suits. They believe in Christianity.
Come on.
You understand? They invest in white stock markets. They celebrate Christmas and Halloween. They have been completely influenced by the devil that the Bible speaks of, which is our oppressor. And that is who is in control of this earth right now. Right? Keep going.
Salaki. He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof, meaning whoever this man is, whoever this person is, this nation, they covered the faces of the judges. Who are the judges?
Salaki, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The Israelites.
Be a little bit more specific.
The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Not in this context.
Come on.
The judges in this context would be Christ. It would be the angels, right? The angels were the ones that carried out the Lord's will. Christ was the one who carried out the Lord's will, right? And those were our judges. They judged our matters. When Christ found that woman in the act of adultery, Christ judged that matter and had mercy on her. You understand?
Concept.
Right? So those were the judges. And how did they cover up the faces?
Salaki out of one.
Mm-hmm.
By making them Salakia, by covering their face with another shade, another race.
No, come on, keep it clear.
Salakia, by making them white.
By making him white. That's all. You understand? Yeah, you're right, Hawan. He said by making them oppressors. You absolutely right. They painted a man by the name of Caesar Borgia. Right? Let me see if I can show y'all this real quick. Read it again from the top.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
Covered the faces of the judges thereof. This is what that means. This is what this is talking about. Right? Caesar Borgia. Right? This is a real man. Right? And as you can see, they painted this man in the image of Christ, right? If I'm not mistaken, it is Leonardo da Vinci or whatever who they paid to paint him, right? He was the second son of Pope Alexander III, right? And he was part of the Aragonese house in Spain, right? This is a real man, historical figure. And that's who you pray to when you pray at night. That's who you think about when you go to sleep and you say, now, before I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. When you say that at night, you think of that white boy in your head. How do you know? Because you ain't never been given an image of a black man.
Concert.
That image of Jesus Christ, them pictures with him like this, y'all can't even see me. Y'all know the little the LGBT pictures that they have of Christ in that church. It's engraved into you. It's burned into your mind. It's pushed on you and pushed on you so much and so that you can't get it out your head. That even to this day, when you think of Jesus, that picture just comes up and you got to fight against it because it's not him.
Right.
You understand? It's Caesar Borgia, but they covered up his face. They covered up the face of Christ. They covered up the face of Saint Mary. Right? Saint Mary, of course, was who? Christ's mother. Right? And they covered up her face with who?
Slagia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Some Egypt goddess. Oh, Slagia, sir.
Nah, no sweat.
With an oppressor's face.
It was, but who? If you don't know, no sweat. You know,
yeah,
you say,
I'm not sure.
With Lucretia Borgia, the sister of Caesar Borgia. That Saint Mary statue and them pictures that is running rampant in that Catholic church down there in Mexico and Central and South America, that is Lucretia Borgia. That is not Saint Mary. You understand? Like you got to imagine if someone took Elvis and they made Elvis the image of Jesus Christ 50 years from now, you would have a problem with that. You would say, well, Elvis ain't Jesus. Elvis was Elvis. He was some thieving, diabolical heathen who stole music from black people and got rich off of the flavor of black people. But because of his white face, he was able to prosper off of the things that we did. But of course, you'll die in another 50 years. And then another 50 years will go on. And then 100 years will pass. And then 500 years will pass. And then eventually, 500 years later, people will be looking at Christ at Elvis Presley as the image of Christ. And 500 years from now, they'll say, this is Jesus Christ. And they praying to Elvis Presley. That's what they did with Cesar Borgia. He was a prominent figure at that time. And they said, well, if we're going to depict our Savior as anybody, let's use him. But that's not him. You understand?
Come on.
Go back to Did you finish the one in Job 9:24? Was there more?
It's more, sir.
Go ahead, keep going. We'll read it from He Covereth.
Slacking, sir.
Read it from He Covereth.
Khan. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
Uh-huh.
If not, where and who is he?
If not, where and who is he? You understand? Who is he? He's talking about our oppressor, man. And that's the question that your Christian pastor won't answer. Because this question can't be left open to interpretation. This question can't be left open to, oh, it's all spiritual. This question is specific. If it's not him, then where and who is this man? Who is it? I'm telling you right now, is the oppressor. And only a coon would ever question that. Only an Uncle Tom slave would ever question that the man who hung us from tree to tree, that the man who slaughtered 75 million Native American Indians, 99 million what they call today African Americans on the Trail of Tears alone. Only a slave would question if the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. You understand? Drop that. Go back to where I had you at before. Was it
Slacking, it was Proverbs 29.
Yeah, Con. Go back to Proverbs 29.
Khan.
Uh-huh.
This book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
So now, when the righteous are in authority, the people will rejoice. Meaning what? None of these nations will go through the pain and suffering that they're going through now because the oppressor is in rulership. You understand? Like when the righteous is when Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are in authority, what's happening in Maui, Hawaii won't happen. There won't be no scandals and no conspiracies about someone burning down Hawaii or murdering people or committing genocide. It won't happen. Salaga, COVID-19 won't happen, which was responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths here in America. It won't happen when we are in authority. Why?
Slide, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're the righteous. We are made to basically to protect the people. We are Salakia.
How are we protecting them?
By showing them, God's law.
Mm-hmm. I need a little bit more. I need you to paint it for me. Paint it for me today, right? Does America protect you?
Sir.
How?
By with their police force and their military.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, so like I was basically trying to say that they have a service that they use that's for the people, but that's for us. So like, yeah, I do understand that they don't necessarily protect us. Not at all.
Hawan is on it. Hawan said by leading them. Right? He's speaking about how would the righteous make the world to be and not in mourning anymore, right? By leading them, but leading them how?
Slack, yes, sir.
Come on.
In righteousness with the
What does
law.
that? What does that look like? Show me. Tell me.
By teaching them that eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster is unlawful unto the Lord, and how to follow Him.
And how does that save a people?
Slack, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
By giving them life, because if they eat shrimp, crab, and pork and lobster, they'll die from it.
How?
By different diseases that they carry by the animal.
That's it.
Common
That's
gun.
it. Right? You eat pork, you're going to get a high blood pressure. You eat pork, you're going to get cancer. If you smoke cigarettes, if you smoke weed, in about 40 years, if you're lucky, you'll be talking out of a goddamn hole with a button in your neck with a tube. If you're lucky to make it to 40 years, some people only make it like 3 years and they have a hole in their neck. You should look it up. You should look up, like a lot of people, you like to look up big booties. That's what you like to look up, Nadia. You like to look up things that attract you, things that are fun, things that are cool, hip. But you don't ever look up the dangers in this world. Why don't you look up things? Why don't you look up the victims of smoking cigarettes? Why don't you look up the victims of smoking vape pens and hookah? Look it up. Look at go to the American Heart Association and read the effects on the brain that smoking marijuana does to your brain. And tell me that it doesn't say that it literally eats at the fibers. I mean, not the fibers, but the literal pause meat in your mind. It literally eats your brain as you smoke marijuana. That's what it does. You don't ever want to look that up. You don't want to see that the same way Christians don't want to see the law of the Bible. You understand? Because why? Because if you found out that the life that you was living was a hoax, the things that you believed was a lie, the way that you believed in God was not the truth, then it will force you to have to change. And change is what?
Salakia, sir.
Uh-huh.
It's hard for some
Yes.
people.
I'll take that. Pause.
Come on.
I'll take that. But change is uncomfortable.
Come on,
Right? That's the word you want to use. Why? Because Christians will sell drugs, and selling drugs is hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard to be a gang member. It's hard to do that. But what Christians don't ever want to be is uncomfortable. I don't ever want to be uncomfortable. And knowing that you're living a life that's wrong against God, it makes you uncomfortable. But when you decide to change your life, it then becomes hard. It's hard to change your life, but no Christian wants to learn the truth of the life that they're living because it makes them uncomfortable in their self. It causes confliction in their spirit because they realize how wicked they are. Right? It makes them uncomfortable, right?
Right, sir.
Go back to the scripture one more time.
Come on, come.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2.
Oh, Salaga, I know my point, Salaga. And the other point was this, right? Not only will you stop our people or the people on the earth from dying from heart disease, gout, high blood pressure, and all those other sicknesses and illnesses that come from eating things like shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, but what else would happen? What else would happen if you teach the people to not eat shrimp, to not eat oysters, to not eat crabs and lobsters and shark and all of the other fishes and things, organisms that are in the ocean that are unlawful? What else would happen other than saving the people? I might have given it to you. I should have said that part.
Come on, sir. So,
but go ahead, let's get it. Come on.
So you mean like the Christian pastors?
Nah, I mean in the earth. Remember, we talking about rulership.
Come on, sir.
And everything we're doing, we're pleading our case. We're pleading our case with the Lord that we are the ones who should be in control of this earth.
Right.
And so we just pleaded our case that if we teach black people to stop, not even just black people, we teach black people, white people, African people, Chinese people to stop eating pork, then you won't have heart disease and gout and high blood pressure the way that you have it in the earth. But what else would happen? What would happen if we stopped eating shrimp, lobster, right? Oysters, scallops. I'm using those examples for a reason.
Come on, sir.
What would happen?
So like our oceans would be cleaner and also our bodies.
Come on, Doc. You think the Lord don't care about the ocean he created?
Right, sir.
You think the people don't want to be able to swim in an ocean that's clean? I'm sure they want to. You think the fish don't want the ocean to be clean? I'm sure they do. I bet my bottom dollar that they absolutely want the ocean to be untampered with by American oil or by Middle Eastern oil or by Russian oil. They don't want to have to die by the millions because of oil spills. They don't want to have to go through that. You understand? They don't want to have to die because the ocean is so damn dirty, because the organisms that the Lord created to clean the ocean, you go in there and you eat it. That's what you do. And I always use this example. Imagine if you had a fish tank, right? And in your fish tank, you got all kind of, you got eels. And my last fish tank, my brother had a fish tank, right? He had the starfish in there. Cool as hell. Right? You got starfish in there. You got little Nemo or clownfish. Got all kinds of stuff in there. Right? But then also in there, you got an algae eater. And the algae eater, it sticks on the glass. And it stays on the glass. And what does it do?
Slugging, sir.
Uh-huh.
It eats the bad stuff, the algae that grows on the
algae. That's its job. That's its purpose. It was created for that purpose. And I always say, well, imagine if someone came in there into your house and said, you know what? I'm hungry. And they decided to stick their hand in your fish tank and grab that algae out your fish tank off that wall and then fry it up and make an algae eater sandwich. How would you feel?
Slugging, sir.
Come on.
I'd be angry.
Well, that's how the Lord feels, Zach.
Come on.
That's how the Lord feels when you go and you disobey him. When you go and you take the things that the Lord created to perform specific jobs and duties on this earth and in the ocean, and then you eat it. Imagine if the Lord killed all the janitors. Imagine if the Lord killed all of the waste, the garbage men tomorrow. In about 2 weeks, you'll be flying to the UK. You'd be flying to Canada, flying to Mexico, flying to Australia, because America will become a waste zone. But of course, America understands their law. They understand what it means to protect their streets and their neighborhoods. And so they set up garbage men and give them jobs to clean the waste that's on the street. But they don't understand it when it comes to God.
Come on.
They don't understand it when it comes to the Lord and how the Lord wants the waste clean from the ocean. Them Vietnamese, they don't understand how the Lord wants them rodents and them rats to clean the things that are decomposing on the earth. They don't understand it. The oppressor don't understand how he wants the pig to be a decomposer on the earth and eat the waste and all of the trash and all of the yuck and everything that a pig eats, which is anything. They don't understand it. You understand? Keep going.
Con.
Mm-hmm.
The people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
Mm-hmm. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And right now, we just read in Job, you understand, that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And right now, the wicked is the oppressor, and he controls this earth, which is why you're in mourning, which is why Christians cry every Sunday when they play the African feed a child for $25, 25 cents a day commercials. You up there crying and bawling your tears out, and you don't even understand that all of this pain, all of this turmoil that is happening around the earth is happening because your oppressor is in charge. So what are you doing following his religion? What are you doing fighting in his militaries? standing for his national anthem when he's the reason why Africans are starving. But you didn't know that. But you didn't know that America is the reason why them countries in Africa are so terrible. I bet you just believe that Nigeria is just the most corrupt government. I'm sure they are. Them heathens don't know no better either. But when America wants to save a country, they go and do it, do they not? How you know?
By going in there in Slovakia, by going in there and implementing their authority by basically bribing them to take take their money or their substance. If you trade with me, I'll pay you this.
What about Ukraine?
Sir.
Did America help Ukraine? So why are we still seeing infomercials of Africans starving?
Right.
I mean, somehow America is allowing these infomercials of Africans starving to be on our TV screens. America does run the TV screens in America, does it not? I would think so. Why are they allowing this to come to our TV screens if they have the power to free Africa from that starvation? They do it for Ukraine. They said Ukraine, what, $33 million, or was it 300 million? Let's look it up.
So like I said, all I know is that they sending them money while people here are starving.
Damn right. Hold on. One second. Since the war began, the Biden administration and the U.S. Congress have directed more than $75 billion in assistance to Ukraine, which includes humanitarian, financial, and military support. But we crying for starving Africans for what?
Right.
Why are we sad about starving Africans? Why are there starving Africans? That doesn't $75 billion. That doesn't even sound like it doesn't. It shouldn't be in the same sentence. Like $75 billion and then starving Africans.
Right, sir.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. But what does make sense is that the world is in mourning right now because the oppressor, he's in charge. And when he's in charge, things like this is going to happen. Right? Now, go back to the scripture that we had before.
Come on. Is that
right? Or was that the one? Yeah, the one with the light.
The light, sir? Come on.
Yeah, that you have it. Go ahead.
Come on, sir. Live here. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. Ye are the light of the world.
So now,
come on.
Yeah. So now break that down now. Ye are the light of the world. What makes us the light?
Salakia, sir.
Come on. Anybody can answer. Sis, you can also answer as well. Sis, if you want to come off mute, you can answer any question. Or if you have a question, you can ask it. Right? But any brother, any sister that's in the StreamYard, you can answer. If you're online, you can answer these questions in the chat. All right? Go ahead, Nadia.
Salakia, sir. I would say that we bring the best out of darkness. Well,
I wouldn't say that.
Come on, sir.
Remember what we just talked about. We're going to teach how to live, right?
Come on, God.
Or teach people how to live according to what?
To the law, Salakia, sir.
So when we teach people how to live according to the law, we become the what?
The light of the world, Salakia, sir.
We become the light of the world. Meaning when the rest of the world is dying from COVID because they eat pangolins and bats, and they're dying from all kinds of sicknesses and diseases and illnesses because they're smoking cigarettes and eating pork and eating shrimp and being alcoholics. When black people and blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians decide to come back to the Lord and to take power from this place and to teach our people that we have to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, then we become the light that heathens would follow. They
Right.
will look to us for instructions on how to live. They'll look to us. For I remember at one point, Louis Farrakhan was a light. He was a light to black people. Of course, it was a false light. He was like a little match that got dimmed very quickly. But I remember, was it Elijah Muhammad? Yeah, it was Elijah Muhammad. Did I say Farrakhan or Elijah Muhammad?
Slug, sir.
Uh-huh.
It was Farrakhan.
I didn't mean Farrakhan. I mean him as well, but I meant Elijah Muhammad. I remember Elijah Muhammad came out with a book. It was called Elijah Muhammad's How to Eat to Live. And of course, everyone read that book because they wanted to live. It was the only reason you ever opened it, right? If the book was called How to Eat to Die, you ain't gonna follow that. But you thought when you was reading Elijah Muhammad's book, How to Eat to Live, and he was speaking about all the live foods and all of this, that, and the third, which is a bunch of nonsense, right? You thought that you was following the light. This is the actual light, following God's law, statutes, commandment, not Elijah Muhammad, not Farrakhan, not Martin Luther King or Marcus Garvey. None of those people or none of those things are the light of the Lord. You understand? Read it again.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Ye are the light of the world.
Uh-huh.
A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid.
A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Right? Remember, this is who we are. We will be that city. Right? When you see if you are far off, right? You seen them movies where like people be in the wilderness and they be in the jungle, but then when they look over the hill, they may see some light. They may see a city or they may see a house lit up. Right? What happens when they see that house lit up?
Slug, sir, could you repeat that?
If you ever seen any movie, right, or anything where someone is stranded in the wilderness or in the jungle and they're alone and they need help, when they look over yonder and they see a house on a hill lit up, or they see lights on a mountain somewhere across, what happens after they see that light?
That Slug,
Uh-huh.
That person runs for help.
They run for help?
Come on, sir.
Give me a
Slug,
come on.
If they're stranded on the island and they see a house with the light on, they go over there and ask for guidance on how to basically get out of that.
They run to that light.
Come on, sir.
They go to that light for help. Well, the rest of the world is mourning. And eventually heathens will come to the light to help. Who is the light? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You brothers will be the light. They'll ask you to come sit in their city hall meetings, their Congress meetings, their Senate meetings. They'll ask you on your advice or your orders on how to keep this world in order. Of course, you understand, you would be, of course, in charge, right? Because of course, when Christ comes back, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians would be ruling this earth. But these heathens, they will look to you for light. They will look to you for life on how to live the same way you look to America. You understand? You trust on America's science and their studies and their researches and their history on how to live. But eventually we'll lean on the Lord on how we should live. Keep going.
Verse 15. Neither do men light a candle.
Kima said, gets their attention, Khan. Right? Sis said they go towards it. Damn right. Like the example of what is the truth. Damn right, sis. And of course, the truth is that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are God's chosen people, and we need to come out them Christian church because the Christian church teaches lies. They teach lies, hypocrisies against the truth. Go ahead, Nadia.
Verse 15. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel.
And what does that mean? Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel.
Salakia, sir. They don't hide the light because without the light they can't see.
That don't make sense, huh? You understand? That wouldn't make sense to light a candle and put it under a bush. That defeats the purpose of the point of lighting a candle, right? So what is this telling us? What is he saying here?
Salakia, sir.
Uh-huh.
Let your light be seen.
Yeah, I'll take it. You understand? Go out and teach. Go out and show the world their transgressions. So show thy people their transgressions, man. You understand? And have no regard for their feelings. I'm paraphrasing. Right? Let your light shine. You understand? Don't do what we did back in the time of Exodus with Moses. Don't put a veil over his face. Let it shine like Christ did. Keep going.
Put on a candlestick and give it light unto all that are in the house.
And Salagi, what is? I gotta go back, man, because 14 is heavy. You understand? I mean, 13 is heavy, and to put it under a bushel. What else? What else is that talking about? Right? You brothers and you sisters, you coming into this truth, or you in this truth, and you learn how to change your life. You learn how to regain your culture, regain your heritage, your language. You learning that Lashuan Kodash. You learning how a sister is supposed to dress herself, how she's supposed to raise her children, how she's supposed to be a sister to other women. You understand how she's supposed to be a wife? You brothers learning how to be soldiers, learning how to be righteous men, learning how to be husbands and brothers to brothers and friends to friends and fathers. You learning how to do these things in the truth, right? But when you come in here and you Yahweh Shema Alatha Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Brakatah, Khan of the one Khan, sir. You do all that. But then when you get around your friends, you become the biggest slut in the world. You're putting that light under a bushel. That's what you're doing. Because you know the truth, but you're scared that you'll stand out from all the rest of the whores in the world. So you're scared to wear a dress. You're scared to wear a head wrap. You brothers, you scared to wear a shield of David to the slave. You absolutely are terrified of going into the slave and saying, I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, that I don't celebrate Christmas. You understand? They say, hey David, are you going to the Christmas party? And you say, nah, I don't think I'm gonna make it this year. Well, why is that? Oh, well, you know, I just got a lot of things tied up at home and got to get back with the kids, and you understand? But tell me all about it, man. I hope y'all have fun. You allowing your light to be put under a bushel, man. You understand? You're not letting your light shine. When you come in here and you're one way, and then you leave and you're another way, you're being a coward.
Right.
And then you can't do that. You were Israelite in here. You Yaramak in here. I'm Yaramak everywhere. I go all across the earth, and I'm still Yaramak. You understand? Even the people who may not know me as Yaramak, I'm still Yaramak. I don't smoke weed. You understand? I don't sleep with white women. I don't eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster because that's what Commander General Yohanes taught us. You understand? Going over these records that Christ laid down for us. You understand? And that's how you have to be. You have to be Nadiab, who is somebody who isn't somebody else because he's around his friends in the world. You have to be Awabad, who doesn't change because his family is around. You have to be Awabad everywhere. You have to be Nadiab everywhere because you're letting your light shine. Keep going.
Salakia. But on a candlestick and giveth light unto all that are in the house.
But on a candlestick and giveth light unto all that are in the house, man. Let everyone see and teach everybody. Teach everyone. Teach your father. Teach your mother. Teach your grandmother. Teach everybody the truth. When they say you coming over to celebrate Christmas or what you want for Christmas, what do you say? Oh, no, I don't want anything for Christmas. Well, why not? Because Christmas is a sin against the Bible to celebrate it, man. You understand? But what about the kids? Well, what do you want me to get the kids? Don't get the kids anything. You understand? Let your light shine and teach them. Keep going.
Verse 16. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works.
Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works. You understand? Let them see what you do. You brothers in here, you putting all this work in, you understand, holding these food drives, going into them prisons, having these councils, having these classes, going to camp. You understand? Sacrificing your days with your ribs and your children, doing the work of the Lord, traveling across the country. Brothers getting ready to go up to New York. Give a hand for the New York cookout, man, and all the brothers that's traveling or getting ready to travel to the New York cookout. Go ahead and give them a hand. All right. Those are sacrificing their lives and sacrificing their money and their time that they can go and serve the Lord with their brothers. That's something Christians don't do. Christians don't understand that. Christians don't want to be uncomfortable. You understand? Christians will travel when they have the means to do so, when they want to do it, when it makes sense. You brothers travel with nothing. You travel with not a dime in your pocket, and somehow you make it there. Why? Because what the Lord laid down for us is more important than your comfort, more important than you and money, more important than you even whatever the hell you think you need for your brotherhood. It's more important than that. Right, keep going.
And glorify your Father which is in heaven.
And glorify your Father which is in heaven. What is it? What does it mean to glorify your Father? Anybody?
Slakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
By showing your loyalty and obedience unto him by following the law, statutes, and commandments.
By giving him the credit.
Come on, concept.
By giving him the credit. Which is why when we do anything in the truth, we always say what? Most High in Christ. Like, oh, Nadiyab, you did that, man. You blazed on them Christians that camp, man. You cut them up real bad. So Most High in Christ. Because you don't take the glory. You give the glory to your Father. Because without him, you wouldn't be battling Christians. Without the Lord, you'd be somewhere underneath some bridge begging for quarters. You understand? So all of the things that you're able to do is because of the Lord. Give him that glory. Otherwise, he'll take it from you. And he'll take the glory for himself. Keep going.
Verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Now, this is the part we're getting at, Christians. This is the part we're getting at. This is Christ speaking himself. He said, think not that I am come to destroy the law. Meaning Christ just spoke about you following the law and teaching the law and letting the law shine and giving the glory to God. And now he's saying what? Think not that I'm come to destroy the law. Keep going.
Or the prophets.
Or the prophets. Why is he saying this?
Shalom, sir.
Come on.
Because they thought when Christ came on the scene that that's what Christ was coming to do.
That's what they thought. Why? Why would they even think this?
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
Because they thought that, Christ being the Son of God, that they didn't have to follow the law when he was when he began to teach, basically.
Right. They thought that Christ was coming to rid them of the law. Why? Because following the law made them what?
Slakia, sir. Uncomfortable?
I said uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to have to follow the law. It's uncomfortable that you just can't be a whore. I mean, you can't just be a Keke Palmer. It's uncomfortable to have to not be Keke Palmer. You understand? To have to not be some drug dealer or to not be some rapist or some child molester. It's uncomfortable for Christians to not do those things, which is why they do it. You understand? I need you to understand that for all you Christians out there who can't get it, for all you Christians who teach that the law is done away with, that you shouldn't follow the law, I need you to understand that when a Christian rapes your daughter, when a Christian molests your child, he's doing it because it was too uncomfortable to not be a child molester. It was just too damn hard. It was too hard to not be a rapist, too hard to not be a thief, to not be a drug dealer, to not be a murderer. It was just too difficult to do it. But the Christian way is to do things within your means. Meaning what, Nadiyab? Meaning I'm a Christian. And you know what? It's not that hard for me to not murder people because I don't live a life where I have to murder people. I didn't grow up in the worst of the ghettos. I didn't grow up in the worst of the hoods where I had to choose a gang or die. I didn't have that option. I grew up in a nice middle-class neighborhood. So, of course, murdering ain't on my plate. You understand? I don't have to molest children. I got a good job. I get women. I get a lot of women. Women love me. I'm handsome. So molesting children and raping women, I don't have to do that. It's not on my plate. But you do smoke weed, though.
Right.
You smoke weed. You understand? Why do you smoke weed? Oh, man, life been stressful, man. All this damn schoolwork. This schoolwork is too hard. Well, you don't have to molest children because you get women. You don't have to murder because you wasn't raised in a situation that, convince you to murder. But this situation of school, it's just too hard for you. And so you will smoke weed. You know what that tells me about most Christians? If you couldn't pull a woman your age to save your life, you would be a child molester.
Right.
If you couldn't pull a woman, you would be a homosexual. You would do it because it'll just be too uncomfortable to not have sex. That's why when brothers go to prison, them brothers who go to prison and start having sex with men, it's just too hard for them to just not orgasm. It's just too hard. It's too much. The idea of not orgasming for 5 years, it burns in their soul. They can't do it. They say, oh, no, I can't do that. I got to go and get a man. That's Christianity. Right. Whereas in the truth, we serve the Lord and we understand duty. We understand that if we get sentenced to 1,000 years in prison, guess what? Catch me at 999 years, and I will have still not have slept with nothing.
Right.
Unless they allowed women to come inside the prison. We not doing that. Why? Because sleeping with another man is against God's law.
Right.
Not eating pork. Why? Because eating pork is against God's law. But of course, if you were starving and you're a Christian, your stomach starts hurting now again. Being uncomfortable is just a little bit too much for you. Yeah. Right? Which is what you got to make Christians understand. You're not a murderer because you haven't been put in a position to murder. You haven't done it. You're not a gang member because you're too much of a pussy to be one. That's why. You don't fight people in the street, not because you care about God, not because you care about what Christ did. You're not a gang member or some thug in the street because you're a pussy. That's why. That's the only reason. You're not a drug dealer getting all the money and driving fancy cars because you're too much of a pussy to go to jail. Right. That is not because of God. Of course, when you speak to people, you think because you're in a Christian church being so scared of everything, you say, yeah, them thugs, them gang members, those is niggas. You're not a nigga because you're too much of a pussy to be one. Right. And you use that to somehow say that, it's because of God. It's not because of God. You understand? 99% of Christians, them 100% of Christians, you sin against the Lord. Let's get it straight. But you would do heinous sins and crimes against the Lord if you were put in that position. Right. The problem is that you aren't put in those positions. And so you understand, you don't murder. But I tell you what, how many Christians have shot brothers because their child was molested? How many Christians go and kill people because someone harmed their family member? How many Christians? I thought murder wasn't in the spirit of the Christian church. Right. Come on, Nadia.
I was gonna say they're gonna do it without a call. They're gonna say, I'm gonna do this because I want to, and then I'm gonna go to church on Sunday.
Yeah, damn right. Or maybe the school workers is a little too hard, so they got to pop a Zan. Right. Or to pop a perk. Well, brother, you should have stopped going to school. Right. Just drop out of school out. If going to school is that damn hard that you have to pop a pill to continue school, then just leave school. I
Right.
don't understand. You're gonna overdose. How many artists have overdosed because of popping pills? And you still put a pill in your mouth?
Right, sir.
Yeah, that's insanity. That's insanity. Go ahead, keep reading.
Kind of one come.
Mm-hmm.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Keep going.
Verse 18. For
Mhm.
verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
Shall in no wise pass from the law. Right? Give me Jeremiah 4:22. One jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law. Meaning from the least of us to the greatest of us. No man is going to pass from this law. You can't do it. You have no argument. You have to follow the law. Let me tell y'all something. I was on Clubhouse before I got in here. And I was listening in on one of the most disgusting rooms on the face of the planet Earth. And this room, it was run by Christians. You understand? And it was just so nasty. Christians that battle against Israelites, against following the laws of God, you are disgusting creatures.
Right.
I need you to understand what I mean. You're not a brother who comes to you and says, I don't eat shrimp, crab, pork, lobster. I'm not a liar. I don't rob. I don't murder. I believe sex is marriage. I don't sleep with prostitutes and whores and sell drugs to my people. I don't do these things because I follow God's law. When you turn around and say to that same brother, well, you know, Christ did away with the law, brother. So I should just murder you right now, huh?
Right.
I should just do it. What are we talking about?
It's like it.
I mean, because I don't know about y'all brothers, but sometimes I get the urge to hurt people.
Right.
I have to battle that demon a lot. You understand? We all fall short. I will buy. We all fall short of the glory of God. And sometimes in my brain, I fall all the way down. And I want to hurt people. But you telling me that God's law is done away with, so I guess I can hurt you. Oh no, brother, so you can't hurt nobody because that wouldn't be in the spirit of love that Jesus Christ. Well, explain the spirit of love. Well, if you love somebody, you won't hurt them and you won't sell drugs to them. It sounds a lot like following the law, dummy. That's what that sounds like. That sounds a lot like your love is the equivalent to following God's law. What the hell are we even talking about here?
Right.
If loving people meant that you don't sleep with their wife, that you don't hurt them, that you don't lie to them, that you don't murder them, sell drugs to them, mislead them, if love means all those things, then what the hell is the difference in following the law? There isn't one.
Right, sir.
You understand? Nadia, you had something?
I was gonna say that, you know, being a Christian, it'll show you why, you know, certain things that you do, they glorify it. They show you that, brother, you can do this, but as long as you come to church on Sunday, that's all that matters.
Right. As long as you repent for the things that you do, then you good to go. Right? Which is why you know all them serial killers and all those mass murderers, them brothers and sisters, not brothers, like it, but just people, right, who have committed heinous crimes against America, they get put on death row sometime. And what do they have at the end of their road on death row?
Salakia, sir.
Other than the last meal.
Salakia.
Come on.
The last words, I mean, basically they're what they believe on. So
but what do they specifically have in place for those brothers?
Salakia, sir. I'm not sure.
They have a priest. They have a priest in the prison, right, that'll come and ask the man who's about to die, right, if he wants to confess his sins so that his soul could be saved. Does he confess Jesus Christ to be his Lord and Savior? They give them that opportunity. Some people take it, some people don't. What does that say about America? what does that say about the relationship between Christianity and America?
Still like that one.
And this is the problem with Christians, and this is what I want you to understand: how detrimental that Christianity is to our people. And you're so damn stupid and blind that you don't even see it. What is the correlation to that clerk, that priest in that prison, giving a mass murderer, a serial killer, the chance to confess his sins and to confess Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior so he could be saved? What's the correlation? Come on, Nadia, what was you going to say?
So I was going to say they'd rather you die than for you to change while you're still alive.
Well, that's true too. That's also a heavy point. I thought Christ was all about mercy.
Right.
I mean, what the hell did he do? I mean, he murdered what, 4 people? I mean, what the hell? Who cares? Right. I mean, Christ loves everybody, right? The sin and the sinner. Doesn't Christ love the sin and the sinner? I mean, no. I mean, just for the right? He loves the sin. He loves the sin and the sinner, right? And on top of that, isn't there no sin greater than the other?
Right.
Well, then I mean, it's just a little murder. I mean, come on. Let's be reasonable here. It's just a little bit
petty. Just a little petty crime.
Just a little bit of killing. It's just a little bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Just a little bit of Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, so what that Jeffrey Dahmer ate people? Who gives a damn? Who cares that Jeffrey Dahmer took people and dismembered them and put them in 30-gallon tubes full of acid? Who cares? Who gives a damn if he kidnapped 14-year-old boys and murdered them and molested them and did all kinds of heinous things? I mean, come on. Ain't we all Christians? Don't everybody fall short of the glory of God? Isn't there no sin greater than the other? And isn't the law done away with? I mean, who cares? You should forgive Jeffrey Dahmer. Of course, murder is against America's law, so he's going to have to pay for breaking those laws. But as it pertains to God, you shouldn't hate him in your soul. He's your brother. He's a human being just like you. You shouldn't hate him. You shouldn't hate Hitler. You shouldn't hate none of them. You should love General Butt Naked. That's why IUIC love General Butt Naked, because they a bunch of. There's a man by the name of General Butt Naked who was over there in Africa, I think like Sierra Leone or the Congo or something like that. And you got where exactly he was from?
Congo, sir.
He was from the Congo. And he was famous for leading a child army, right? And being accountable.
Right.
He would take the hearts out of his victims, and he taught his children, he brainwashed the children in his military that if they ate the heart from their victim, that they would be invincible.
Right.
Because you have to do that with children, because they're so impressionable. They believe what you say, just like Christians, which is why I say all the time, Christians are children.
Right.
You know? You understand? But now, after all of the hearts he done ate, I mean, come on, man. General Butt Nigga, he gets a shot at the kingdom up. He does. Of course, I'm lying.
Right, sir.
Of course, none of them get a shot at the kingdom. But what is the correlation to America and their religion as it pertains to to people on death row? I want you to get it so you understand. So you understand the religion you're fueling. All the money that you put in the Christian church, $3 billion a year you put inside the Christian church, and you're fueling this one agenda, this one thing you're fueling. You'll think you're spending $3 billion a year on Christian church to get closer to God. You believe that you're doing it because you love Christ and you want to learn about the Lord. You're not doing any of those things. You're fueling this one correlation, this one thing. And you know it because they do it to the serial killers. For time's sake, I may have to give it to you, Nadia, unless you want to take another shot.
So like I was gonna say that they're basically they're giving money unto them, not necessarily to themselves, but to their lust, what they want to do themselves. Basically, the law of themselves and what they want to do.
Right. When a mass murderer who has committed heinous crimes, when he gets the opportunity to confess his sins and to save his soul in the kingdom of heaven, after he is punished for the crimes he's committed, the correlation is what America feels, is what America uses to justify him murdering you.
Right. Oh,
What he uses to justify him enslaving you. So America could also hang you from tree to tree. They could also mistreat you. They could also enslave your people for 400 years. You understand? And cut the babies out of the womb of our sisters and use those fetuses and those babies as alligator bait at the banks of the swamps. They can mutilate you, tar and feather you, fry you in frying pans, and boil you in cauldrons. They can shoot you 12 times in your back. They could keep a knee on your neck for 8 minutes and 36 seconds until there is not a drop of breath in your lungs to scream for your mother anymore. They can kill you in the back of a van. They can kill you at the age of 14 because you were falsely accused of whistling at a white woman. They can put bombs on your cities and your neighborhoods in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They can destroy the city of Rosewood, which is a black-owned city, a black-inhabited city that was thriving without the assistance of our oppressor. They can murder you. And when it's all said and done, when they go to their temples and inside of their churches, they get the same opportunity that Jeffrey Dahmer gets. They get the same opportunity that the mass murderer gets. They get a chance to allow some priests to save their soul in the kingdom of heaven so they don't have to pay for the crimes that they committed. And when you go on that Christian church and you spend money, you pay directly for your oppression. That's what you do, you dummy. You played yourself. You a stupid idiot in the Christian church thinking you paying alms to a church that's going to help your people. What do you think the money in the church goes to? Who can tell me where the money in the Christian church pay, where the money goes that you said that your grandmama sends in the Christian church? Who can tell me where that money goes to?
Slide, yes, sir.
Come on.
In their pockets, into their rent, to their car note.
I mean, you correct. But the money that they get in the Christian church, it goes into white banks. It goes into white banks. And what do the white banks do with that money?
Slocky, sir.
Come on.
They loan that money out to people who then come in and gentrify your neighborhoods.
They loan that money out to white home buyers and reconstructioners who are white, and then they buy your ghetto. They buy the neighborhood that surrounds the church. They buy it, and then they kick your grandmother out of her house. We got a brother by the name of Officer Yanazar, and it's so sad to hear his story because Yanazar is an older brother, man, and Barakatai Hawaii was shot for him. An older brother that went through Hebrew Academy and flourished in it, if I may say so myself. You understand? But this brother is from Harlem, New York. And when you listen to him speak about Harlem, he loves it, man. He loves his city. And you know why he had to leave Harlem, New York? Because they raised the rent so much that he had no choice but to move all the way to North Carolina. That is oppression.
Right.
You understand? We talking about a brother from his youngest ages growing up in this city, becoming the mailman. He used to tell stories about how he used to deliver the mail up to the what's that famous place in Harlem where all the celebrities would come and perform? The good night, man. What's it called? We're gonna perform at the, I can't think of it right now to come to me. Right? But there's some famous building, some famous showcase where all the artists would go and they would perform. And he used to be the mail boy up in there. And then eventually some white woman became the manager and told him that he couldn't deliver the mail upstairs no more. He had to just drop it off at the box and keep it pushing. But of course, him delivering the mail upstairs, he got to meet brothers. He got to meet Luther Vandross. He got to meet celebrities, man, and they loved him, man, because he the mailman. He the mail boy. Who don't love the mail boy? And eventually, all that money that you put in a Christian church, it allowed for these white buyers to come up and to gentrify your neighborhoods and raise the rent. And now Yanazar had to leave his home. That's gentrification, man. That's the Trail of Tears. That's what they did to the Native American Indians, man. And that's what your Christian money is being spent on. That's the problem. That's what you don't get. Keep going, Nadia. Actually, drop that. Give me Jeremiah chapter 4 and 22.
4 and 22. Kind of one kind.
What Hawan said is correct. They use that money to destroy us. That money that you're giving in that Christian church going into that bank, that ain't helping black people. It ain't fixing our neighborhood. $3 billion a year. And you telling me that the ghettos ain't being revamped or reconstructed, getting better piping system, better electrical work, better security. You telling me that? You a damn lie, man.
Sir.
Nah. Come on.
I think it was the Apollo.
The Apollo. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Yanazar used to work. I mean, not work, but he was the paper boy. He used to deliver the papers to the Apollo. And they destroyed that for that brother, man. You understand? Which is why Yanazar would never give a dime to the Christian church. Because the Christian church made that happen. Go ahead now.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 10. Then said I, Lord God, surely thou hast greatly deceived this people in Jerusalem.
Give me Jeremiah 4 and 22.
4 and 22, Salakia. This book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish.
For my people is foolish. Who is his people?
Salakia, sir. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, right? His people is foolish. What does it mean to be a fool?
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
Unlearned.
Unlearned, right? Or what? A person who acts unwisely. Right? He doesn't have wisdom. And all wisdom, of course, comes from the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? You understand that, or do we need that precept? Let's just get it real quick. For this is all.
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
You want me to continue to read?
No, I want the precept first. Hold that so we understand what a fool is, so we know what we're talking about.
Salakia.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 4, but I forget what verse.
4.
Probably like it's in the beginning. It's like 4 and 3 or 4 and
I believe it's if I'm not mistaken, 4 and 6.
That sounds right, but start at verse 5.
Concept. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments.
I have taught you statutes and judgments, man. These are our laws. This is how we conduct ourselves, right? Keep going.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
So whatever land you travel to, you should keep these laws, right? Even when you're in America, you should keep these laws. If you're in Canada or the UK or Ukraine, you should be keeping these statutes and these judgments. Keep going. Verse 6.
Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them.
And neglect them.
And do them.
And the Lord has done away with them.
And do them.
But Christ did away with the law.
Keep therefore and do them.
Keep therefore and do them. You have to do these statutes, man. You have to do these commandments. Keep going.
For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So what makes you wise?
Salakia, sir. The commandments of God, law, statutes, and commandments.
And what makes you a fool?
Salakia, sir. By not doing them.
So who teaches that the law is done away with?
Salakia, Adawan. The Christian church does.
And who teaches that the law is not done away with?
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
The ISUPK.
So who is foolish and who is wise?
The Christian church, Salakia.
Is what?
The Christian church would be the fool, and the ISUPK would be the wise.
It sounds like correct math to me. I don't. I mean that sounds like it's straight to the point to me. Keep reading.
Come.
Mm-hmm.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
And who was this talking about when it says that they shall hear, which shall hear all these statutes and say? Who is that talking about?
Salakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The other nations.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about China. The same way back in middle school, you thought that Chinese people were the smartest people on the face of the planet Earth. How many of y'all thought that when you was growing up? That Chinese.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I did at one point.
Yeah, I mean, you thought that Chinese people was like goddamn, like they just incredibly intelligent. Come to find out, Chinese people are like the dumbest idiots on the face of the planet Earth.
Right.
They are dumb. Have you met Chinese people? How many? Just think about it. If you've ever met a Chinese person, do you know how many times I'll be wanting to smack the Slovakian? You know how many times I want to smack the saliva out of a Chinese person at the damn Chinese restaurant?
Right.
Because they're just so dumb. They don't get it. They don't understand why you don't eat pork. They like want to put cat in your food, but you don't eat pork. It's crazy to them.
Right.
You don't eat shrimp. How many times you had to order some Chinese food and there's shrimp in it, and you like, Nick, I said chicken. They say chicken, shrimp, same thing. Chicken, shrimp, cat, same thing. They dumb.
Right.
You understand? Eating pangolins and eating bats, and then getting COVID-19 spread across the whole damn earth. That is stupid.
Right. So like this.
Come on.
The definition of a mongoloid.
Come on now. You want to pull it?
I will. So like if I pull it out, I have to pull it up on my phone, and it's going to exit out the live stream. So like,
well, no sweat. Yeah, look it up on your own, right? The definition of mongoloid, which is where Chinese people come from, right?
Right.
You know, that's gonna take me all the way off topic, right? But they're the dumbest people on the face of the earth. But when we teach these laws, statutes, and commandments, Chinese people are gonna look at you, and they're gonna say you're the smartest people on the earth.
Right.
You're the wisest people on the earth. You understand?
Come.
Mm-hmm. Well, Salaki, you can drop that. So now we know what wisdom is, and wisdom is following these laws, statutes, commandments. And we know that if you don't follow these laws, statutes, commandments, then that makes you a fool, right? Because the definition of a fool is a person who acts unwisely. That is the literal direct definition. So if you act unwisely, which wisdom is following the laws, statutes, and commandments, then without following these laws, then there is nothing left for you to be than a fool. Come on, go back to Jeremiah.
Come.
Mm-hmm.
Like it. This book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish.
Now, this people is talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, right? But Jeremiah is saying his people are foolish. Why?
So like this, sir. Because they don't keep the law.
Because they don't keep the law. They don't want to hear the words of the prophets, right? Which is why, dumb, that Christ had to come and die. You think Christ came and did something different than Jeremiah. Christ didn't change anything from Jeremiah, dumb. What happened is that the people weren't listening to the prophets, dumb Christian. They didn't want to hear what Jeremiah had to say, what Ezekiel had to say, what Job had to say. They didn't listen to them, dumb, which is why Christ had to come and set the record straight. Because if they weren't listening to the law anyway, dumb, then why did Christ have to come do away with it? They weren't doing it anyway. But you such an idiot. You're so foolish. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Read it again.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22.
Uh-huh.
For my people is foolish.
Uh-huh.
They have not known me.
Uh-huh.
They are sottish children.
They are sottish children. Sottish means stupid or very foolish. Right? Keep going.
And they have not known, Salakia. And they have none understanding.
And they have none understanding. You don't understand these scriptures. You don't understand wisdom. You don't understand nothing. You understand? You do understand Christianity, though. You get that. That much you do get. Keep going.
They are wise to do evil.
They are what?
Wise to do evil.
After all of this Christianity, all of this Christian this BS, all of that nasty, stinking, disgusting Christian teaching, all of these years we've been in a Christian church, 400 years in America, we've submitted ourselves under the religion of Christianity, that nasty, disgusting religion. But yet we lead in the prison system.
Right.
Yet our people lead in heart disease. We lead in doubt. We lead in breast cancer. We lead in heart cancer. We lead in high blood pressure. We lead in black on black crime. We lead by death by month. Every month, when you tally up the death against ethnicities, we lead in it. Every month. Every month of every year, we lead in it. You know why? Read that part one more time.
They are wise to do evil.
Because you know how to kill yourself. You don't know how to follow God's laws and live, but you do know how to give yourself high blood pressure. You do know how to give yourself a hole in your neck. You know how to do that. That's not hard, not y'all. You got to teach Christians how to put a hole in their neck. They know how to do that. Yeah, just keep going to the hookah bar. Keep doing that. Keep putting a blunt to your lips. That cigarette or that Black and Mild. Just give it about 20 years. You'll be. I used to have a normal life, and now I smoke through a tube like this.
Right, sir.
You know, come on.
Like if I may,
Mm-hmm.
even when they get the hole in their neck and they talking through the tube, I done seen it personally. Like they'll still ask for a cigarette. They'll still do it, and you get to know Salakia, but smoke be coming out their neck and through their mouth.
they be looking like the damn train thing, the shit up top of the train that be letting the smoke come out. Hey, give it to them. What the hell does it matter? God loves everybody.
Right.
God loves everything. I don't care if your grandmother is speaking with a tube in her neck, give her a fucking cigarette.
Right.
Don't God love everything?
Right. Salakia, sir. Let her, smell it through the oxygen tank. She'd be all right.
Hey, make a blunt this big and put it in her neck so she can smoke it that way. I'm pretty sure that's interesting.
Right.
You do it. I mean, you're going to call it limit? No, that's too far, Yarmak. We're going to draw the line on that now. Don't got that line in. Draw it. And make sure you revert it back to when you ever picked up a blunt in the first place.
Right.
Put it back to whenever you thought to go against God's laws, man, because that's the reason why your mother's gonna die. That's the problem. That's the problem. You love your mother so much, and your grandmother so much, and your family so much, and your friends so much. Not following these laws, statutes, and commandments is the reason they're gonna die.
Right.
That's it. You understand? My brothers can never die.
Right.
Never. My brothers will live forever and ever and ever. You know why? Because they won't be some drunkie. They'll never die some drug addict. They'll never die some homosexual that the Lord wanted to kill. When my brothers lose their breath and their face turns dark, their names and their work would live forever.
Right.
You know why? Because the Lord will preserve it. The Lord will preserve it like the Lord preserved the names of Job, like the Lord preserved the names of Moses and Isaiah and Joshua. But your name, you understand, You wanted to die from a goddamn hole in your neck. You know why? Because you're foolish. You teach that we shouldn't follow the law. I remember TD Jakes. There's not him with you. TD Jakes or Creflo Dollar. Which one is the fat one?
T. Jake, sir.
Yeah, TD Jakes. I remember him saying something that Satan is trying to force you to follow the law. He said that. He said that. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Nadia. Go ahead and speak.
You said he said that Satan is trying to force you to follow the law.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna get kicked off StreamYard, so like
Go ahead.
I can't say what I want to say. So like
No sweat. Go ahead and read that again.
Count on count. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22. So like for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise.
Go ahead, keep going.
They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge.
They have no knowledge. I can't get it. It's gonna take too long to be looking up that, but look it up on your own time. But TD Jake said that Satan is trying to get you to follow the law.
Shalaka, sir.
Go ahead, Abubad.
I believe that was Creflo Dollar.
Was it? That's probably what the problem is. It was probably Creflo Dollar. Let me look for it now. Hold on. Read it again if you don't mind.
Khan. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge.
Right. This. I'm gonna have to. I'm seeing some of the clips, but these clips is like 2 hours long. So I know if I click it, I ain't gonna be able to just find it. Right. But it was Creflo Dollar who said that Satan is trying to get you to follow the law. Right. So go look it up. I'll make sure I have it by next week. Right. Just remind me now that y'all have to get that clip. I don't even know why it ain't posted all over the internet anyway. That we need to get on that anyway, because that's crazy. You understand? But now Christians, they know how to be wicked, man. They know how to kill themselves. You understand? But they don't know wisdom. Read that. Hold on 1 second. Right? They are wise to do evil. They know how to do evil. They know how to murder each other. They know how to lie to each other, how to steal from each other, how to hurt one another. They know how to do all of those things, but they aren't wise enough to do good. You understand? Keep going. Or read that right after evil.
Come. But to do good, they have no knowledge.
They have no knowledge to do that, man. You understand? No knowledge of doing good. Drop that. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Come. Like 10 and 12, sir.
God.
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee? But
so now what? He's asking the question, right?
Come, sir.
Right? He's asking what do the Lord thy God, right? Read it one more time. So like
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Right? So what does the Lord require of us? Keep going.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways.
To fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to what?
And to love him.
And to love him. How do you do that?
Salaki out of one. By keeping his law, statutes, and commandments.
Prove it.
Salaki.
Right. While you finding that precept, bear with me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Come on, sir.
You got it?
Common concept.
What you got?
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse verse 2, chapter 2, verse 3. And hereby we do know him if we keep his commandments.
Give me 1 John 5 and 3.
Common. This is what that's the one I was looking for.
No sweat.
Common. This is the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God.
Now, if you want to love God, Christians think that loving God is about like keeping God in your heart. Like,
So like
go ahead.
Well, personally, I want to know what that means to them.
Right, which is what I'm getting at, right? Because who else was in your heart?
Right.
Your boyfriend was. Wasn't your boyfriend in your heart before you left him for another man?
Right.
Isn't your mama in your heart before you stole the money out her purse? Right? Isn't your children in your heart before you break up the home and leave them traumatized? I mean, all of these people are in your heart, but it seems like there's a lot of hate still going around out of y'all.
Right.
We know about all this love that we talking about having, but I'm still seeing people starve to death.
Right.
I'm still seeing people get their house broken into. I'm still seeing people getting murdered on the streets, but yet the majority of all of us on the earth are Christians, and we're supposed to have this love. Why is this love? What's going down with Keke Palmer? Isn't Keke Palmer a Christian? I mean, shouldn't she have love for her husband? Is that what love look like? The way she treat her man, the way she disregard her man, disregard his feelings and his emotions and his concerns. Is that love? Come on, Nadia.
So like I said, if I may, my uncle, he had made a post about Keke Palmer, and some Eve, she was just like, well, I have made a comment that, how could this man be, how could he feel comfortable with this woman doing this? And this Eve, she replied to me saying like, you men are so insecure. How could you, basically feel that way? I was upset with myself because I replied to her simplicity.
Insecure. Okay. So we insecure, right? Right. The insecure is a feeling of inadequacy,
Right.
A lack of self-confidence, right?
Right.
If I'm insecure, how the hell did I get the bitch?
Right.
How'd I do it? I mean, just answer that one for me. I mean,
right.
If I'm a no good, sorry, weak, insecure, ugly, no money having, no job, mother living, no car having, bus riding nigga, insecure, how'd I get the broad?
Right.
I mean, it's either one or two things, Nadia. One, she likes and loves the fact that I'm insecure. She loves the fact that I'm a weak, no good, no nothing nigga, and she just likes it.
Right.
Or two, nobody's insecure, sis.
Right.
Maybe that's what that is. No one lacks self-confidence because you tell a woman to put her clothes on. Am I insecure? Am I insecure if I tell my daughter to put clothes on? So what is the difference?
It's like this. I have no clue.
I mean, I just want to know, where the Christian women at? Where the Christian women that would say, well, because you believe that other men is going to want your woman. I believe that men want my woman when she fully clothed. What are you talking about? Ain't got nothing to do with her being naked. You understand? It's stupidity. But as the scriptures say, our people are foolish. Right. They know they're wise to do evil. Right. They know how to do that. They know how to get naked and go out there and be promiscuous. They know how to do that. But to reverence their husband as unto the head of their house, as unto their Lord, their king, That makes them what, Nadia?
Slightly, sir.
Come on.
In their eyes, insecure.
Think about the word we've been using.
Oh, slightly. Uncomfortable.
That makes them uncomfortable. That's too hard. That's too hard to be Keke Palmer and have such renown and so much money and to be a 4 out of 10 on a good day. I have to keep throwing it out there because Keke Palmer is not beautiful.
Right.
Keke Palmer should not, like when the scriptures say beauty is vain.
Right.
He had not Keke Palmer in his mind when he wrote that. You understand? And now Keke Palmer is damn near ugly on the outside and the inside. She got a long route to go to be back in any good grace. Right?
Right.
You understand? So she's more comfortable being the way she is. She finds comfort in the acceptance and the love that she gets from women across the world who was cheering her on by destroying her household. And Usher, good night. Usher, you nasty piece of garbage. You nasty piece of trash. This is what the black community has come down to. You are an elder, man. You sitting up here 40 what? How old is Usher? 44?
Almost 50, sir. So like, yeah.
You about damn near 50 years old, Usher, and you have no care for young black marriages? You don't have nothing in your mind said, you know what, sis? You better go you better go talk to that man. You better go make it right with that brother. Because I'm telling you, divorce hurts. I mean, you should know, Usher.
Right.
You should know that divorce hurts. It hurts to break up with somebody that you done created life with. It hurts to leave someone that you vowed your life to. You understand? And of course, a lot of you believe that you vow your life when you get on a knee and sign some papers in some Americanized wedding. That ain't the case, man. That brother vowed his life to Keke Palmer so much and so that he saw fit to correct her publicly, even though he knew he would get backlash for it.
Right.
You understand? But he did it anyway because he loved the woman that he was with. He loved the mother of his child. But of course, she found comfort in Usher, and Usher comforted her. Like, you nasty. Usher better go fight them damn cases or them damn herpes of that gay sex he was having. I don't even understand that. How you let boy? I about damn near kill myself if my woman left me for a man that had sex with men. That is insane. That is crazy. That's Christianity. Keke Palmer and Usher are both Christians. Just so you know.
Right.
Keep reading.
This book of John, 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
For this is the love of God,
Mm-hmm.
that we keep his commandments.
That we keep his commandments. It ain't got nothing to do with your love being in your heart. You love your husband, you stay with your husband for the rest of your life. That's love. That's what love is. You love your wife, you stay with her for the rest of your life. You understand? True love is when two people absolutely hate each other, but they'll never leave each other's side.
Right.
You understand? Is that not what the Lord did for you?
Right.
Was not the Lord fed up with you, pushed to the point of exiling the children of Israel? He was. Right. But he loved you so much that he didn't leave you. He loved you so much that he sent his only begotten son to save you. That's the love that the Lord had for us, but you can't have it for each other. You can't have it for the man that you lay with every night, for the woman you lay with every night or every other night. I don't care. They said once a month. I don't care how long, how many times you lay with her. You humbled her and you were humbled by him, and you can't have love for each other. That is the Christian church. So if that is love for them, getting in relationships, breaking relationships, having children, molesting children, leaving children, you understand? Abusing children. If that is love for the Christian church, then what do you think the love for the Lord is in the Christian church? It's abuse.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's about being comfortable. You love the Lord when it's convenient for you, when it's good for you to do, when it's easy for you to do. But when it's hard for you to love the Lord, being comfortable is more important to you than serving the Most High. Come on, Nadia.
I was going to, well, basically ask a question. Would that tie into like Christians being in the church and, you know, basically, well, what you were saying, well, tagging on to what you were saying, would that tie into them being abusers of themselves?
Say that last part again. Being what?
Would that tie into them, like Christians being abusers of themselves?
You could, but that's more or less speaking about LGBTQ.
Come on, sir.
You understand? Because if I'm not mistaken, it says abusers of themselves with mankind. If I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, yeah. Like you using mankind, you're just abusing it. So it could mean other things. I'm not too sure. I can't. Don't quote me 100%. But usually that precept we use is for LGBTQ because they abuse themselves. Meaning you allow another man to put it. Come on, man. Like that. As if that shit don't hurt. Like that's the sickening of the brain. You understand? Like what is the greatest fear in the black community for a black man going to prison?
Slacking, sir.
Come on.
Being raped.
Getting raped. I mean, come on, man. Let's just be real.
Right.
Let's just be completely honest for a second. Black men don't want to go to prison because they're scared of getting raped. How many shows have been made about this? The Boondocks. Right? Tom was scared to go to prison only because he didn't want to get raped.
Right.
That was it. No one wants to get raped in prison. Why? Because it's not good. It's not good. You got to stop with this madness. It's not good to be raped. It's not good for a man to be in. Come on, I don't even want to talk about that. That's disgusting. But it's nasty, and you shouldn't be doing it. And not only is it not good, and it's abusing, but it's against God.
Right.
It's against God to do those type of things, to be so deviant and to abuse yourself of mankind. But of course, in the Christian church, they are wise to do what? They're wise to do evil.
Right.
They know how to do that. You understand? Keep going.
And keep his commandments.
And here's another thing too, especially on that LGBTQ alternative sex lifestyle. What religion do you think is the religion of the man that came up with the HIV pill? And if anybody doesn't know, the HIV pill is a pill that they created. I don't know if it's called the HIV pill, but it's a pill that they recently created because of the pandemic that happened back in like the 80s, 90s, where there was just a rise of AIDS and HIV because there was an acceptance of homosexual lifestyle. And so now they came out with this pill that lessens or pretty much hides the symptoms of HIV so that people like Magic Johnson can live, a lifestyle where they're not in agony and pain and torment, which is what the Lord created HIV for.
Right.
Like that's the other thing too. Don't let me get too far off topic now, y'all. But that's the other thing. Like, why do you think that the Lord created HIV? Why do you think he created it?
Slightly, sir.
Come on.
For a pestilence and a disease.
But why?
To slightly. Because people, they dwelt in their wickedness.
Salaki.
True. Come on, Awabad.
To punish you for your sins.
To punish. He gave you AIDS to punish you for having alternative lifestyle.
Oh God.
That's why he did it. You understand? He gives you gout to punish you for eating pork. That's why. Right? He gives you lung cancer to punish you for smoking cigarettes. That's all. Right? Hold what you got. Give me Isaiah 45:7. That's why he does it. And this is what the Christian church don't understand. So the person who created that pill, what are you doing that for? Like you created that pill to stop what? To stop the judgment of the Lord? You believe that your pill is going to stop God from killing homosexuals? Let me tell you something. I don't care how many pills you have. If the Lord wants to murder you for having alternative lifestyle sex, he will drop a meteorite that will leave indent in the earth the size of the Dead Sea.
Right.
He'll do that. He'll do that. You know how I know he'll do it?
Slightly, sir.
Come on.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Because he did it.
Kanamaka.
You know where that meteorite hit?
Allah, sir. I don't know when.
Where?
Where? Oh, Salakia.
Uh-huh. And please
I
don't
believe
say
in-
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sorry. No. I was gonna get the destination. I want to say Iraq.
The Dead Sea.
Cut on concert.
The Dead Sea. The reason why the Dead Sea has a depth as deep as it does, and why it's so engulfed in sulfur and salt, why you damn near can't swim in the Dead Sea, and why the Dead Sea is in the condition it is because that is the location that the Lord allowed a meteorite to hit the earth. You understand? Right beside Jerusalem is the Dead Sea, and that's what the Lord hit. That was Sodom and Gomorrah, and now is the Dead Sea. That's ironic, isn't it?
Most High in Christ.
Yeah, it's the Dead Sea for a reason. You think the Lord can't create more Dead Seas? Maybe the next time it'll be the unalive sea. That 1,000 years from now, everybody would say, "Well, yeah, Houston is beside the unalive sea, right?" Or maybe what's beside it? Georgia. What is it? Alabama? I think it's Alabama, right? Yeah, I think it's Alabama. If not, who cares? So they'll be in Alabama saying, "Yeah, the unalive sea is where Atlanta used to be." Maybe that'll happen. Keep reading.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 10,
7.
Verse 7. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness.
I form the light and create the darkness. Keep going.
I make peace and create evil.
So the Lord makes peace and creates evil. Why is the Lord creating evil?
Sir.
Come on.
To show his wrath.
To punish you for not wanting peace. You understand? Keep going.
I, the Lord, do all these things.
I, the Lord, do all these things. He does all of it. You understand? Now go back. Go back to where we at?
1 John 5:3.
This is the book of John. It's like the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
That we keep his commandments. Keep going.
And his commandments are not grievous.
And it's not hard to do, man. It's not hard to live a lifestyle that is righteous and to not live the life of a sinner. It's not hard to do at all. You understand? You believe it's hard. Why? Because you don't want to be uncomfortable. But we all know that anything great in life comes with uncomfortability. You understand? I don't know if that's a word, but I'm using it. Uncomfortability. Right? They always say that there are two different types of pain in this world. And there's one pain of suffering and distress, and then there's another pain of success. But majority of people don't ever experience the pain of success because you quit at suffering. Right. You can't stand to be uncomfortable. That you start getting the urge to smoke weed, you never get the glory of the success of saying, I haven't smoked weed in a year, in 2 years, in 20 years. You'll never experience that because you quit after 2 days. 2 days is too rough for you. You understand? Until you land in a grave somewhere.
Right.
Laying in a grave somewhere, dead, bones being rotten, decomposed by worms and spiders and all kinds of creatures and critters in the earth. That's what you would rather have, man. Where the Lord would rather have you live. The Lord would rather have you be righteous, man, and to stand for his law and to not be foolish. You understand? And to stand with righteousness and to stand with wisdom and understanding. And the only place you're going to get that is in the house of the Lord, man, which is the Israelite school of UPK under Command and General Yohana. You're not going to find it in the Christian church. You understand? What else did we have? Who was you holding one more?
believe Slovakia.
I think you was reading one, and that's why we went to First John.
Concert.
I think it was in Deuteronomy, right?
Slovakia. Is it Deuteronomy 4 and 6?
Nah. I think that's your wisdom.
Concert.
Deuteronomy 10 and 10 and something. 10 and 12.
10 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
Come. This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
So now, what does the Lord require of us? What does he want of us? Keep going.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him.
And we just read how to love the Lord, right? By following his laws, statutes, and commandments. Keep going.
Come. And to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
With all thy heart and with all thy soul. Meaning make it a part of the fabric of your spirit while you following these laws. Make it a part of you. Don't make it like, don't follow the law like how you follow America's law, right? Or remember, how many of y'all in middle school, when you had to walk to the cafeteria, had to walk in a line?
Right.
You remember that?
Come.
Don't follow the law like that. Don't do it. When you walked in that line, did you follow the rules?
Nah.
By following the rules, should you be punished for following the rules? No, nothing happened. You followed the law. You walked in the line and you went to the cafeteria. Did you understand why you had to walk in the line? Did you want to walk in the line? Don't follow God's laws like that.
Come.
Don't not commit adultery because you don't want to die. Don't not commit sin because you don't want to have to pay the judgment for it. Do it because you understand it. Do it because you understand why you have to walk in the line. You get it. And you prefer to walk in the line because that's our law. And you would see it no other way. So much and so that if someone else steps out of line, you would correct them. You understand?
Come.
Keep going.
Verse 13.
Verse 12.
Come.
Or verse 11.
Verse 11.
Oh, Salaga, where we started?
Salakia, sir. We started at 12.
Yeah. Go ahead, Salaga. I messed up. 13. Go ahead.
13. To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
For thy what?
Thy good.
For thy good. I'm gonna end on this. I heard in the clubhouse when these Christians was battling Captain Tazariak, and one of them stinking nasty Christians said that Captain Tazariak's words was about deception, was about deceiving, and he was being deceitful. He wanted to deceive people with what he was teaching. And now let's say this, right? Let's give Christians the benefit of the doubt because they children, and sometimes they need it. Sometimes they need a benefit of the doubt because they have shaky ground to stand on. So let's give them something solid to stand on, right? Let's say they're right. Let's say Captain Tazariak is a witch. He's a devil. And he is deceiving people to be in this cult. Okay. What's the word I'm looking for? What is the end goal of his deception? For lack of a better word. That's my question to Christians. If Commander General Yohana and Captain Tazariak and Captain Ithak and all the brothers in UPK, if they're deceivers, then what is the outcome of their deception? Anybody? Come on.
That's a good question. I don't think they'll be, bold enough to answer something like that.
Okay, hear me when I'm saying this, right? Take what Commander General Yohana teaches. Take what Captain Tazariak teaches, and leave it at that. They teach what they teach. You know what they teach.
Right, sir.
What is the end of their deception if what they taught was deception?
For blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to keep the law.
I mean that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Make it more specific.
To get into the kingdom of heaven, they gotta keep the law. That's what they
Make it
teach.
a little bit more specific. Remember, we talking about Christians.
That's a lot.
They're telling you to stop smoking weed out.
Come on.
You understand? They're telling you to stop smoking weed. They're telling you that you can't have sex with a woman and throw her away.
Right.
They're telling you that you can't just hurt a brother because you're upset with him.
Right.
They're telling you that you can't, do a PPP loan. You can't not file your taxes. You can't not wear a seatbelt. You can't carry illegal weapons. You can't shoot somebody illegally. You can't do. What is the outcome of the deception? Am I being deceived of not being a criminal? That's a deception. If that's the deception, then consider me deceived.
Right.
You understand?
Count.
Consider me deceived. Consider me brainwashed because I was taught that we can't smoke weed, which is illegal in North Carolina, at least. I was taught that we can't sell drugs, which is illegal everywhere.
Right.
I was taught that you can't murder your brother because he stepped on your shoe, which is illegal everywhere. So if I'm deceived, then no sweat. Let us stay deceived, man. Let us stay deceived, Doc.
Right.
I'll rather just follow Captain Tazariak than to follow fools in the Christian church, because that's what the Bible just called them. Fools in the Christian church. You understand? Read that, or was that it?
Slack, sir, that was it.
Right, that was verse 13.
Come.
And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and clip the class up. You go ahead and clap it up. The water for everybody tuning in. The water for everybody that's joining. Sister. You understand? Everybody, shout out to Commander Junior Hanna and the New York Cookout. The New York Cookout is happening this weekend. Everybody is, clicking up and making their way up to Harlem. You understand? I'm pretty sure brothers gonna go to the original school, 1 West 25th Street. I wish I could be there. I ain't gonna be able to be there personally, but I'll definitely be with y'all brothers in spirit. You understand? But if you want to make it, you can still make it. Make it up to Harlem. Get in contact with your camp leader or the man over your zone, and get up there, man. Go break bread with them brothers. This cookout is for blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, all of them. Whether you in the truth, whether you not in the truth, whether you in a Christian church or in a Muslim mosque, whatever way or walk of life that you coming from, if you black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, then you can come to this cookout and you can enjoy great music, great food, and of course, great brotherhood, outstanding brotherhood like you've never seen before.
Right.
Because brothers in here follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and you'll see something that'll conflict your spirit, that'll want to fight against you being in that Christian church, which is why if you're Christian listening to this, you won't show up. You know why? Because if you show up to that Harlem cookout, it'll make you uncomfortable because you'll realize how righteous that is and how wicked your home is.
Right.
With that, I'm going to go ahead and end the class. Shalom.